You're working 40 hours a week, maybe more. The money comes in and within days it's gone. Rent, bills, food, that subscription you forgot about. Another month disappears. Another paycheck vanishes. You tell yourself next month will be different, but deep down you already know the truth. It won't be. Because the problem isn't how much you make, it's what you do with it. And if you don't fix that, you'll still be broke 5 years from now. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt financially safe? Not just okay, not just surviving, but truly safe. For most people, that feeling doesn't exist. There's always something eating away at them. A credit card maxed out at $3,200, a car payment they can barely afford, student loans stacking higher every month, and every time they open their banking app, there's that sinking feeling in their chest. $127 left, 2 weeks until payday. They scroll through Instagram and see people their age buying houses, driving new cars, traveling to Bali, and they wonder, what am I doing wrong? Here's the reality most people won't admit. They're spending money to look successful, while feeling miserable inside. They buy the $1,200 phone because everyone else has it. They finance the $30,000 car because it looks good parked outside. They order takeout 4 times a week because cooking feels like a chore. And at the end of the month, they're shocked that there's nothing left. But it's not just about the spending. It's the weight, the anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck, the fear of an emergency, the shame of dodging calls from debt collectors, the exhaustion of pretending everything's fine when you're drowning. And the worst part, you're stuck in a cycle you don't know how to break. Because no one ever taught you. Here's something they'll never tell you in school. You'll spend 12 years learning algebra, memorizing historical dates, and dissecting poems. But not one single class on how to manage money. Not one lesson on debt. Not one conversation about investing or compound interest or building wealth. They prepare you to be an employee, not to be free. So you graduate, you get a job, you start earning, and you do what everyone around you does. You spend it. You think that's normal, because it is. Normal is being broke. Normal is debt. Normal is working until you're 70 and hopping Social Security covers the rest. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Normal is a trap. Most people confuse looking rich with being rich. They see someone driving a $60,000 SUV and assume they're wealthy. But that person is drowning in a 7-year loan at 8% interest. They see designer clothes and assume success. But behind the scenes, it's credit card debt compounding at 23% annually. Real wealth. It's invisible. It's the person driving the 10-year-old Toyota with $150,000 invested in index funds. It's the couple living below their means while their net worth quietly grows. It's the discipline no one sees and the freedom everyone wants. Income doesn't make you wealthy. Your habits do. And if your habits are broken, it doesn't matter if you make $30,000 or $300,000 a year. You'll still be broke. You'll just be broke with nicer stuff. Because wealth isn't what you earn, it's what you keep. It's what you build, it's what you protect. And right now, most people are doing the opposite. Let's start with the most basic rule. The one everyone knows but almost no one follows. Spend less than you earn. Sounds simple, right? Then why is the average American household carrying over $6,000 in credit card debt? Why are people making $50,000 a year living like they make $70,000? Why does a raise never seem to fix the problem? Because spending less than you earn isn't a math problem. It's a psychological war. Every day you're bombarded with messages designed to make you spend. Buy this, upgrade that, you deserve it, treat yourself, everyone else has one. And slowly, without realizing it, you start living beyond your means. You make $3,500 a month after taxes. Rent is $1,200. Car payment, $420. Insurance, $150. Phone, $80. Groceries, $400. Utilities, $100. Subscriptions you forgot about, another $60. Eating out, $300. Random purchases, $400. Add it up. You're already at $3,110, and that's before student loans, before entertainment, before anything unexpected. One car repair wipes you out. One medical bill destroys you. And instead of fixing the problem, you swipe the credit card, because it feels easier. It feels like breathing room. But it's not. It's a trap door. Now imagine a different approach. Same salary, $3,500 a month, but this time you decide the most important bill you'll ever pay is to yourself. Before rent, before anything, you take $350 and move it into a savings account, 10%, non-negotiable. Then you live on what's left. You cook at home more. You cancel the subscriptions you don't use. You skip the $7 coffee and make it yourself. You drive your car for another 3 years instead of upgrading. It's not glamorous. But month after month, something magical happens. Your savings grow. $350 becomes $4,200 in a year. In 3 years, it's $12,600. And that's before you ever invest a dollar. You're not richer because you earned more. You're richer because you kept more. That's the difference between surviving and building wealth. Spending less than you earn isn't about deprivation. It's about freedom. It's about control. It's about looking at your bank account and not feeling fear. It's about finally, for the first time in your life, having options. Here's a question. When do most people save money? At the end of the month, right? After rent, after bills, after expenses. They tell themselves, whatever's left, I'll save. And what's usually left? Nothing. Because life always finds a way to eat every dollar you give it. That's why the second rule is brutal in its simplicity. Pay yourself first. The moment your paycheck hits your account, before you pay a single bill, before you spend a single dollar, you move money into savings. Automate it, make it invisible, treat it like rent you owe to your future self. Because if you wait until the end of the month, you'll always have an excuse. The tires needed replacing. Your friend's birthday. That sale you couldn't pass up. But if you save first, you force yourself to adapt. You make it work. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. 2 people, both make $2,800 a month. Person A says, I'll save what's left. Every month something comes up. By the end of the month, maybe they save $50, maybe nothing. After a year, they've saved somewhere between $0 and $600, maybe. Person B automates $280 a month into savings, 10%, before they even see it. They adjust. They live on $2,520 instead of $2,800. It's uncomfortable at first, but after a few months, they don't even notice. After 1 year, person B has $3,360 saved. After 3 years, over $10,000. Same income. Different system, completely different life. Saving isn't about willpower. It's about design. You'll never accidentally build wealth. You have to engineer it. You have to make the right choice the automatic choice. Because your brain will always find a reason to spend. It's wired that way. Instant gratification feels good. Saving feels like sacrifice. But sacrifice now is freedom later. And freedom. That's worth every dollar you didn't spend on things you'll forget about in 6 months. Let's talk about the most expensive drug in the world. Status. It's the reason people finance cars they can't afford. It's why they buy $200 sneakers when they have $400 in their account. It's why they live in apartments that eat 50% of their income just to have the right address. Because they're not buying things. They're buying the feeling of being seen. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. Nobody cares. That watch you bought, they looked at it for 3 seconds. That car you're making payments on for 6 years, they forgot about it before you left the parking lot. You're spending money to impress people who are too busy worrying about impressing you. It's a game no one wins. Let me give you an example. 2 coworkers, both make $45,000 a year. Guy A wants to look successful. He finances a $35,000 car. Monthly payment, $580 for 6 years. Total paid after interest, over $41,000. Add insurance, gas, maintenance. His car costs him nearly $800 a month. He buys the clothes, the gadgets, the lifestyle. At the end of 5 years, he has $2,000 in savings and $15,000 in debt. Guy B, he buys a used Honda Civic for $8,000 cash. It's not exciting. It doesn't turn heads, but it runs. He lives in a smaller place. He doesn't chase trends. People probably think he's doing worse than Guy A. But 5 years later, he has $40,000 invested. His money is working for him. He's sleeping better. He has options. Guy A looks richer. Guy B is actually building wealth. And that's the illusion most people never break. Looking rich is expensive. Being rich is quiet. Real wealth doesn't scream. It doesn't need to. It doesn't post on Instagram. It doesn't need validation. It just grows. Every time you spend money to impress someone, you're stealing from your future. You're choosing their opinion over your freedom. And their opinion, it's worth nothing. Stop performing. Stop pretending. Stop spending money on a highlight reel that only exists in your head. Start building. Debt is a tool. But in the hands of someone who doesn't understand it, it becomes a weapon. And it's pointed straight at your future. There are 2 types of debt. Good debt builds wealth. A mortgage on a property that appreciates. A low-interest loan for education that increases your income. Debt that puts assets in your hands. Then there's toxic debt. Credit cards at 24% interest. Car loans on depreciating assets. Financing furniture. Payday loans. Buy now, pay later schemes that make a $50 purchase cost $80. Toxic debt doesn't build anything. It eats you alive. Let me show you how bad it really is. You have a $5,000 balance on a credit card. Interest rate, 22%. You make the minimum payment every month, $150. Guess how long it takes to pay off? 4 years. And guess how much you actually pay? Over $7,200. You paid $2,200 in interest for the privilege of spending money you didn't have. That $2,200 could have been invested. In 10 years with average market returns, it would have grown to over $5,000. But instead, it went to a bank. Now imagine you have 3 credit cards, a car loan, a personal loan. You're not building wealth. You're renting your own money at a 20% markup. And every month you're working to pay interest, not to get ahead, not to invest, just to stay afloat. That's the trap. Debt makes you feel like you have more, but really, it's stealing your future income and spending it today. Here's the rule. If you can't afford it without debt, and it's not going to make you money or appreciate in value, you can't afford it, period. No exceptions, no justifications. You want something, save for it, wait for it, and if that sounds hard, good. Hard builds discipline. Discipline builds wealth. Easy builds debt. And debt builds nothing but stress, shame, and sleepless nights. Here's a fact most people ignore until it's too late. Your income has a ceiling if you only trade time for money. You work 40 hours. You get paid for 40 hours. You want more money, work more hours. But there are only so many hours. And eventually, you hit a wall. That's why the wealthy don't just work harder. They work smarter. They learn skills that pay more per hour, skills the market values, skills that aren't easy to replace. You want to change your financial life. Learn a high-income skill. Copywriting, sales, software development, digital marketing, video editing, financial analysis, graphic design, data analysis. Skills that companies will pay $75 an hour for. Skills you can freelance. Skills you can scale. Let me give you a real example. You're working a $16 an hour job, 40 hours a week. That's about $33,000 a year before taxes. You spend 6 months learning copywriting. You practice. You build a portfolio. You land your first freelance client at $50 an hour. 10 hours a week freelancing. That's $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, on top of your job. Now you're making $57,000 instead of $33,000. You didn't get lucky. You didn't inherit money. You didn't win the lottery. You just learned something valuable. And here's the best part. High-income skills compound. You get better, you charge more, $75 an hour, then $100, then you productize it, you build systems. Now you're making $10,000 a month working 20 hours a week. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you stop trading time for money and start trading value for money. The internet has made this easier than ever. You can learn almost anything for free. YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, free resources everywhere. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you can't. But you can. You just have to start. Stop waiting for someone to pay you more. Start making yourself worth more. Here's a harsh truth. If you only have one source of income, you're one bad day away from financial disaster. One layoff, one company closing, one health issue, and everything falls apart. That's not security. That's a tightrope with no net. Wealthy people don't rely on one income. They build systems, streams, multiple sources of money flowing in. A full-time job, a side hustle, dividend-paying investments, rental income, digital products, affiliate marketing, freelance work. Not all at once, but over time. Let me show you how powerful this is. You make $50,000 a year from your job. You start a side hustle, freelancing, consulting, selling digital templates. It brings in $800 a month. That's $9,600 a year. You invest consistently. Your portfolio starts generating $2,000 a year in dividends. Now your total income is $61,600. You didn't work twice as hard. You worked smarter, you diversified. And if you lose your job, you're not starting from zero. You have income. You have options. You have time to find the right opportunity instead of taking the first one out of desperation. Multiple income streams aren't just about making more money. They're about control, stability, freedom. They're about not being owned by a single paycheck. Start small, one extra stream, then another. Build slowly, build smart. Because the goal isn't just to make money. It's to make money while you sleep, while you're with family, while you're living. That's real wealth. Saving money is important. But saving alone will never make you rich. Here's why. Let's say you save $500 a month. You're disciplined. You keep it in a savings account earning 0.5% interest. After 10 years, you'll have about $61,000. Not bad, right? Now let's say you invest that same $500 a month in a low-cost index fund. Average annual return, about 10%. After 10 years, you'll have over $102,000. After 20 years, over $380,000. After 30 years, over $1 million. Same discipline, same $500, completely different outcome. Because investing isn't just about putting money away. It's about putting your money to work. When you save, your money sits there. It doesn't grow. Inflation eats it. Every year it buys a little less. When you invest, your money multiplies, it compounds. It builds on itself. You earn returns. Those returns earn returns. And over time, the growth becomes exponential. This is how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Not through luck, not through inheritance. Through consistent investing and time. But here's what stops most people. Fear. They're afraid of losing money, afraid of the stock market, afraid because they don't understand it. So they do nothing. And doing nothing is the most expensive choice you can make. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to time the market. You just need to start. Put money into a diversified index fund, consistently, every month, whether the market is up or down. Let time do the heavy lifting. Because time is the most powerful force in investing. The earlier you start, the less you need to invest to reach the same goal. Start at 25. Invest $300 a month until 65. And you'll have over $1,800,000. Start at 35. Invest $300 a month until 65. And you'll have about $680,000. 10 years of delay costs you over $1 million. That's the price of waiting. Don't wait. Start now, start small, just start. You can't manage what you don't measure. Most people have no idea where their money goes. They earn $4,000 a month, pay the big bills, and the rest just disappears. $12 here, $35 there, $60 on something they didn't need. By the end of the month, it's gone, and they don't even know what they spent it on. That's financial blindness. And you can't build wealth while blind. You need to know exactly where every dollar goes. Not to punish yourself, not to feel guilty, but to take control. When you track your spending, patterns emerge. You realize you're spending $240 a month on food delivery, $80 on subscriptions you don't use, $150 on impulse purchases. That's $470 a month, over $5,600 a year. Invested for 10 years, that's over $95,000. But you didn't see it because you weren't looking. Tracking your money isn't about restriction. It's about awareness. It's about deciding consciously instead of spending unconsciously. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, whatever works. Just start. Every dollar in, every dollar out. At the end of the month, review it. Ask yourself, did this spending move me closer to my goals or further away? And then adjust. Because you can't fix what you refuse to see. You get a raise. Finally, you're making $10,000 more a year. You feel like you've made it. So what do? You upgrade your apartment, nicer place, $400 more a month. You finance a better car, $250 more a month. You start eating out more, shopping more, living more. And 6 months later, you check your bank account and realize nothing's changed. You're making more, but you're not saving more. You're not investing more. You just upgraded your expenses. That's lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the most dangerous traps in personal finance. Because every time you earn more and spend more, you stay in the exact same place. The wealthy do the opposite. They earn more and save more. They keep their lifestyle stable while their income grows. That gap between income and expenses, that's where wealth is built. Imagine this. You make $55,000 a year. You live on $45,000. You save and invest $10,000. You get a $15,000 raise. Now you're making $70,000. If you inflate your lifestyle, you'll just live on $60,000 and still save $10,000. But if you keep your lifestyle at $45,000, now you're saving $25,000 a year. In 10 years, that's the difference between $250,000 invested and $100,000. Same raise, different mindset, completely different future. Every time your income increases, you have a choice. Upgrade your life or upgrade your freedom. Most people choose life. The wealthy choose freedom. We live in a world of now. Order it, get it tomorrow, swipe, instant. Patience is extinct. And that's exactly why most people are broke. Because wealth isn't built instantly. It's built slowly, painfully, through thousands of small decisions that don't feel rewarding in the moment. Delayed gratification is the ability to say no now so you can say yes later. It's skipping the $60 dinner so you can invest that money. It's driving the old car for another 3 years so you can buy the next one in cash. It's choosing boredom today for freedom tomorrow. And most people can't do it. They want it now, they deserve it now. So they spend now, and they pay for it later. But here's the secret. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. You can feel the sting of missing out today, or you can feel the weight of being broke in 20 years. Your choice. Delayed gratification isn't about depriving yourself. It's about prioritizing future you over current you. It's about understanding that every dollar you spend today is a dollar your future self won't have. And future you. They're going to need it. Train yourself to wait, to resist, to choose the long game. Because that's where the real win is. Let's talk about mindset. Because two people can have the same income and end up in completely different places. The difference, how they think about money. Poor mindset says, I work hard, I deserve to spend. Rich mindset says, I work hard, I deserve to build. Poor mindset buys liabilities, cars, gadgets, things that lose value. Rich mindset buys assets, investments, real estate, things that gain value. Poor mindset asks, can I afford the monthly payment? Rich mindset asks, will this make me money or cost me money? Poor mindset sees a sale and thinks, I'm saving money. Rich mindset sees a sale and thinks, I'm still spending money. Poor mindset celebrates income. Rich mindset celebrates net worth. It's not about intelligence. It's not about background. It's about how you see money. Most people see money as something to spend. Wealthy people see money as something to multiply. Most people think short-term. Wealthy people think long-term. Most people chase feelings. Wealthy people chase systems. Your mindset will determine your financial future more than your salary ever will. You can make $150,000 a year and be broke. You can make $40,000 a year and be wealthy. It's not what you make. It's what you keep, what you grow, what you protect. Change your mindset, and your money will follow. Let me tell you a story. Two friends, both 25, both making $42,000 a year. Daniel loves life. He's young. He wants to enjoy it. He finances a $28,000 car. He rents a nice apartment downtown. $1,400 a month. He eats out 5 times a week. He buys what he wants when he wants it. He's living. At 35, Daniel is still renting, still making car payments. He has $8,000 in credit card debt, $3,000 in savings. He's tired, stressed, one emergency away from collapse. Then there's Marcus. Marcus lives differently. He buys a $7,000 used car, cash. He rents a smaller place for $900. He cooks at home. He saves $500 a month, invests it. People think he's cheap, boring, missing out. But Marcus isn't sacrificing. He's building. At 35, Marcus has $120,000 invested. No debt. He owns his car. He has options. He's calm, free. Same starting salary. Different choices. Daniel traded future freedom for present comfort. Marcus traded present comfort for future freedom. 10 years later, Daniel still feels stuck. Marcus feels alive. That's the cost of every financial decision. You're always trading something. Make sure you're trading wisely. Life will hit you. Not if when. Your car will break down, you'll get sick, you'll lose a job, something will go wrong. And if you're not prepared, it will destroy you financially. That's why you need an emergency fund. Not someday, now. 3 to 6 months of expenses, sitting in a savings account, untouchable except for real emergencies. No, a sale on shoes is not an emergency. This fund is your shield, your safety net, the thing that keeps one bad week from becoming a financial disaster. Most people don't have $1,000 saved. So when the $1,200 car repair comes, they panic. They swipe the credit card. They go into debt. But if you have an emergency fund, you handle it, you pay cash, you move on. No stress, no debt, no spiral. That's power. Start small, $500, then $1,000, then 1 month of expenses. Build it over time. Because the comfort of knowing you're covered is worth more than anything you could buy. Rich people buy assets. Poor people buy liabilities and think they're assets. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Your car, liability, it loses value, costs you gas, insurance, repairs. A rental property that generates $800 a month, asset. The $1,500 designer bag, liability. Dividend stocks paying you quarterly, asset. The new iPhone on a payment plan, liability. Index funds growing at 10% a year, asset. Most people fill their lives with liabilities and wonder why they're broke. They buy things that lose value and cost money to maintain. Wealthy people do the opposite. They buy things that grow in value and generate income. Every time you're about to spend money, ask yourself, is this an asset or a liability? Will this make me richer or poorer over time? Most of the time, the answer will be clear. And most of the time, you'll realize you're about to make a mistake. Stop buying liabilities. Start building assets. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Being broke is temporary. Staying broke is a choice. You're not stuck because of your salary. You're stuck because of your habits. And habits can change. Today. Right now. You don't need a miracle. You don't need luck. You don't need a rich uncle. You need discipline, consistency, a plan. You need to stop spending like you're rich and start living like you're building wealth. Because that's what you're doing. Every dollar you save is a brick. Every investment is a foundation. Every smart decision is a step closer to the life you actually want. Not the one you're pretending to live on Instagram. The real one. The one where you sleep well at night, where you're not afraid to check your bank account, where an emergency doesn't destroy you, where you have options, freedom, control. That life is possible, but only if you stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you'll start next month. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There's only now. Your future is being written by your choices today. Every dollar you spend, every dollar you save, every dollar you invest. It's all adding up. The question is, what is it adding up to? Financial freedom doesn't happen by accident. It's built slowly, quietly, through decisions no one sees and sacrifices no one applauds. But one day, you'll wake up and realize, you're not stressed anymore. You're not broke anymore. You're free. And that freedom, it was worth every single sacrifice. So start today. Track your spending, cut the waste, save first, invest consistently. Stop buying things you don't need to impress people who don't care. Stop living for today at the expense of tomorrow. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. Because we're building a community of people who are done being broke, done making excuses, done waiting for life to get easier. We're taking control. One decision, $1, one day at a time. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Your financial freedom starts now. Let's build it together.